Hey everyone, it's Dustin here, the Pro Picker, here with a video on how I handle negative feedback on eBay.
Dustin.
Alright, so let's get into it. I've noticed that there's some conflicting answers out there on the process of how to handle negative feedback. Look, if you're doing any sort of real volume and are profitable, if those two phase, most likely you're going to get a negative feedback. It's just going to happen. Will it always be your fault? Actually, probably not. If you're even somewhat competent as an online seller, it probably most of the negative feedback and even neutral feedback will not be your fault at all. However, you're still going to have to deal with them. It's one of the ugly responsibilities of being an eBay seller. So it does vary. Of course, you can always go the route of not caring. And that is a good strategy in some instances. If you're doing so much volume that you're going to stay at 99.9% regardless of what you do, and that one feedback's not going to bring you down to like 99.8 or 7 or any of the areas where people start getting skeptical of wanting to buy from you. I mean, even then, what buyer really doesn't buy from a 99.7? But yeah, some of the bigger, like we're talking like the people that have warehouses or they're selling straight from a factory in China or something like that with a big staff. Those people sometimes, they'll play the numbers. If your negative feedback's too hard to resolve to try and get a revision or anything like that, or they don't think that they're going to be able to get eBay to take care of it, they're just going to ignore it, move on, and not spend the time or resources on it. However, for small, medium sellers like us that aren't part of, big conglomerates or something, we have to be a little more careful on that because our reputation can be hindered quite a bit just with a couple negative feedbacks. And, that can slow down your sales. So, anyways, jumping in a little bit on why I'm touching on this topic. So, I like to touch on topics that I don't feel like are being addressed from my viewpoint. A topic that I have something that I can add to. There's so many reselling videos out there on how to ship a golf club or how to, do this or do that. And I don't feel like rehashing those is something that I'm going to try and do in this channel. Like, for instance, I didn't really see anybody talking about bulk offers. And I'm sure there was somebody, but I didn't see it out there to where, probably a ton of people were seeing it or whatever on sending out bulk offers all at once through eBay. So that's, why I made that video a few months back. So now you might ask, Dustin, why should we listen to you on this topic? You have a negative feedback. You're at 99.9% right now. Well, my answer is I learned some stuff. And that's the thing. I'm constantly trying to learn. And, that is why, I do have the success that I do have. I'm always willing to learn, adapt, everything like that. So there's this old school of thought. And this is kind of what got me stuck with this negative feedback that I really think I would have had a shot at getting rid of. Now, the old school of thought comes from the eBay forums. Now, when I used to eBay like 10 years back or so, while I was also, doing flea markets off and on, there wasn't a ton of like YouTube resources or anything like that to fall back on, to learn or to even get an understanding of the platform. So with that, you would turn to the eBay forums. Now, the eBay forums had a lot of negativity to them, and I think a lot of that has to come with if everything's going really good for you and you're making tons of sales and you're making tons of profit. First, you don't have time to get on the forums. Second off, People are more likely to complain or say something when something's bad, essentially. That it's just a fact of life. And those forums were extremely negative back then, in my opinion. And the big process there was when you got a negative feedback, you reached out to the buyer and you were supposed to see what you could do to resolve their issue and make them happy, and then send them a revision request. And then that revision request would, hopefully then be turned into a positive, and you would be good to go. Now, I think that's defunct now. I think that's only one path that you should take depending on circumstance. Now, if you get a negative feedback, and I'm going to show and walk you through one that I had recently. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the snapshot I took of the negative feedback itself, but I have it quoted in my conversation with eBay. So if it's not your fault or if it's an erroneous feedback, so this one was an error. It was a positive, and I'm pulling it up right now, so that's why I am looking off to the side here. You can tell I really script this out, guys. So basically, the feedback said amazing product ... and fast. However, it had a negative symbol next to it, and that means he had most likely accidentally put this feedback on my account in a negative manner. So I reached out to eBay for Business on this and said, hey, I need help with inappropriate negative feedback. And they said amazing product and fast, but left is negative. That does not reflect a negative experience. Left my item number and said, I would like to have this feedback removed. Thank you. They said they'd be happy to help. Asked for some identification verification, which I provided, and then said that since there's no other issues, they agree, hey, this was left in error, and we're going to go ahead and remove this feedback for you, which was awesome. And the thing is, why would you use one of your revision requests? And I've seen some people advise this, various people, so it's just not any one. This is all kind of a culmination of what I've been seeing out in the community. I've seen people advise reaching out on something like this when you can go to Facebook, eBay for Business, speak with one of the reps over there. You just leave the information and they'll get back with you, verify who you are, and then they'll either resolve the issue or not. And I think that's the first path that you should approach these things with, when it's not your fault. So if truly dig deep in your soul. If it's your fault, handle it a different path. But if it's not your fault, go over to eBay for Business on Facebook and shoot them a message with all the details, kind of like I did. And I know it's no secret, but what I'm trying to get at is, you should have a process for everything in your business. And the process for when you have negative feedback should look something like a skill tree or one of those charts or whatever, where you have negative feedback. Hey, was it your fault? Maybe revision request. Was it their fault or erroneous? You should go to Facebook and contact eBay there. And that way you're not wasting your revision requests. So by default, you get 3 revision requests. And then I believe you get, and you feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, 6 additional for every 1,000 feedback that you receive. So I have 9 available right now when I hover over on my screen. So if it's your fault, or if it's something that you did wrong. Let's say you had 3 different Scooby-Doo games for the PS2, because there are 3 different ones, and you shipped the wrong one, and the guy negged you, and you go to Facebook, eBay for Business. I can't speak on their behalf, but they're probably not going to do anything for you. what you probably need to do is reach out to the customer and resolve the problem and submit a revision request to him, hoping that he revises the feedback to positive. Other things where there is a third option that also involves revision requests, and with that third option is it's not your fault. You don't care though. You just want to get that negative feedback off. Cost doesn't matter. So let's say you sent out a $10 DVD to somebody and the guy saw a scratch that you didn't see or whatever. Or, I've had neutral feedbacks that said, hey, scratches weren't mentioned and it was right there in the item description and it was listed as acceptable. So, anyways, if let's say it's a negative though, you shouldn't even worry about neutrals. Just let them lie. Who cares? I mean, block them, of course, because anybody that doesn't leave positive or no feedback is not a buyer you want to deal with again. However, back to what I was saying on the DVD front example, he found a scratch and it was $9.99, and you just want that negative feedback off. Be like, oh, I'm so sorry. If I give you a complete refund, would you consider, revising it? Don't ask for the item back. And once he says, yeah, I'd revise it, I'd be like, okay, cool. I've sent you the revision request. This is the order you need to do this in. I sent you the revision request. Now, please, if go ahead and fill that out for me, and I'll definitely issue you that complete refund. Wait for him to actually fill out the revision request, because I feel I've had that happen. In fact, the negative I have right now was a similar circumstance, but I did it in reverse and gave the money back first, and then he left it on there. And honestly, on that feedback, my lesson was I should have reached out to eBay beyond just their automated customer service thing where they just denied it right away on revising the feedback, because that's what they do. I should have reached out to the eBay for Business. So yeah, that's just me wanting to discuss this topic. I hope I added a little bit of insight for you guys. This is a little bit different of a video. I normally don't do talking head videos, and I normally just do sourcing videos. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this vid. And with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And this is actually kind of a short one because tonight, the day that this video is releasing, I'm actually going to be on the Nurse Flippers channel. So definitely check that out if you're seeing this, when it releases at 7 or so. Because in about an hour, I'm going to be over there and chatting with those guys. So with that, please subscribe, like the video, turn on the bell notification, give me a comment down below. Check me out on Instagram. It's @ProPickerOhio. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.